So, Reid, let's just start here. This we're talking about today, CrowdStrike, was not a cybersecurity incident from from the perspective of no bad guys involved. It looked like one, smelled like one, tasted like one, had all the pain of one, but it was not the bad guys. So the first question I have, if we talk about types of insurances, because people are going to need insurance at every level, as Andrew mentioned, where does this go?
Yeah, and we were talking earlier, and Eric made I think a really accurate comment. This would be a lot easier actually if it was a cyber incident, right? It'd be a lot cleaner. Not necessarily as good for the cyber insurance industry, but as far as a more of a clear direction for where insureds are supposed to go. Just to kind of break it down, since this is not a typical, it is technically a cyber event, but the triggering piece of this was not, an intrusion, right? There wasn't the quote unquote breach, but there are some coverages out there that would still come into play. And so typically when you look at this, because it wouldn't be necessarily a covered event for a cyber event, you could still look at the time. And Andrew, you and I talked about this earlier. There's kind of this direct, indirect cost that's associated. And typically when you get into that bucket and your business is essentially doing something that is, over here when you want to be here, right? It's pulling your attention, it's pulling your resources. Knee-jerk reaction from an insurance coverage perspective is going to be, okay, that's business interruption, right? But this is not a direct impact on your business. This is a result of a third party. So we go to this next layer. We go to dependent business interruption.
So let's think about it in two scenarios. One is I'm an MSP. I got 50 customers and I got CrowdStrike. There's this massive impact. I have hundreds of hours. Can I submit to get reimbursed for my time?
Short answer is no. Shorter answer is we got to break this apart, and I think this will be where Eric, you're going to have some good impact. Here's let me kind of, you're the MSP right now. The indirect loss to your business right now is time and energy you're spending for remediation, getting people back up, all of that, right? Your boots on the ground.
One. Yeah, that's the first.
That's step one. Okay, so for that, there would be coverage if it was your business as an MSP that was impacted directly. If this is not for, there's not going to be coverage for your clients in the way that they're impacted, right? This is part of, how the MSP builds out their MSA and for their services. And I'm sure we'll get to this later on from a contractual standpoint. So really what this comes down to is that client better have good coverage for the hope, even though it's slim, that they can submit a claim and they can get reimbursed for their loss of income.
Independent business interruption.
Yeah.
Right? Not cyber.
But Gary, here's what we're still left with. And I think this is a really important element that I'm sure a lot of MSPs are really anxious about is it's all about expectations and the conversations and understanding that their client has right now, right? Because either the MSP is making a decision that I'm going to bill for these things and it's expected, right, per their MSA, or are they doing this pro bono because they're not really sure how to approach the situation? They're just doing their job and trying to figure out how they're going to charge for it later. But there isn't a direct, that's why I'm saying indirect, direct. There isn't a direct component for an MSP to say, hey, look, there's insurance coverage for me in the services I'm providing, the time I'm providing to my client to get reimbursed.